Good afternoon, it's Vandalyn Smith here coming to you live from Birmingham, Alabama. I help women who are in corporate America. I show them how to generate extra income online. So that's what I do. There's a lot of facets to it that I could go into, but in a nutshell, what I do is I help women who are in corporate America who are still working a job. I help them, show them how to make money online. But in this video, I want to talk about the reasons why, or ponder the reasons why people choose to stay in a situation that they do not desire, or they choose to do things that they don't want to do. And yesterday, it comes as a result of yesterday, I was pondering, thinking, and I posted a question on Facebook. I said, are you living life by design? Or are you designing your life if you continue to do things that other people necessarily want you to do, but not what you want to do? Because we can go throughout our life doing things for others, or not so much for others, but we do them because we want to please others. And we really are not happy thoroughly because we are not doing what we want to do. And I know for me, and I want to say that I said, why do we choose? Because it is a choice. And I think that's one of the things that we don't realize. We don't realize that we do have a choice, but we don't see that it's a choice because we're so afraid of what people think. We're worried about what people will think if we go against the norm. I remember when I was a young child, I knew then that I was, considered weird because I didn't like a lot of the same things that everybody else liked. I didn't always want to do what the majority of people wanted to do. And so I found myself a lot of times in situations where I was called the weird child, or I was weird or crazy. You know how you can be somewhere in a group or in a crowd or with friends, and everybody is raving over a certain person, or they're raving over a certain thing, object, whatever. And you come out and you say, I don't think there's much to that, or you don't like it as much as they do. So, you're crazy. Man, you crazy. You're crazy. Girl, you're crazy. How could you not like such and such? And so that's where I found myself in a lot of situations growing up. And so much so to the point that sometimes I would lie or pretend to go with the flow just so that I didn't have to be singled out, or just so that I would have friends or hang out with my friends. Because if you're the oddball out, you're alone, you're over here, nobody wants to touch you, nobody wants to play with you, nobody, you're by yourself. So I didn't want to be by myself all of the time. So sometimes I would say that I like something just to be included or to feel included. Yeah, I know. But we end up growing up with that same mentality. That doesn't just apply to childhood. That mentality ends up following us into our adult life. And like I say, we choose to continue to do things that don't necessarily make us happy for sake of saving face around our family, our friends, or whatever. To this day, there are still situations where I don't feel like I agree with what the majority does. I'm the odd one out. Sometimes I don't say anything. I don't always feel like it's okay, or I don't always feel like it's necessary for me to voice my disagreements with people. So I just choose not to say anything sometimes, unless you ask. But the thing is, you have to decide. You have to make a decision on what pains you're going to be able to deal with, or what pain you're willing to live with. Because you're going to experience a level of pain in either you're going to conform to what everybody else want you to do, but you have your regrets, and you're feeling, painful deep down inside because it's not really what you want to do, but you're pleasing everybody else. So either you're going to live with the pain of not doing what you really desire, or you're going to live with the temporary pain of doing what you desire and getting through that, and seeing the glory of that when you're following your passion and your desires. Of course, you're going to be met with temporary pain because you're separating yourself from what somebody else wants you to do. And so that could be painful because the person or people that you're trying to please, they're no longer happy with your choice because you're not doing what they want you to do. But that's temporary pain in my eyes, because you don't want to live a whole life of regret. And that's what I'm saying. That's a choice. You do have a choice. You just have to decide which pain are you going to deal with. Because for me, I still had regrets up until this day. I had regrets on choices that I made in the past because I realized why I made the choices. I realized that some of the choices that I made in the past were because I was trying to please someone else. And so that didn't put me in a good position, or the best position that I felt like would be good enough for me, because I did it to please someone else, and it wasn't anything that I wanted to do. So yeah, I have some regrets over there, and I know they say you shouldn't live with regrets, but I'm not, I'm not dwelling on the regrets, but I'm allowing those regrets to help me make better decisions now. Because I remember what happened in the past, and I remember how I feel from that decision that I made, but I'm allowing myself to reflect on those decisions that I made in the past, and I'm applying them to life today, so as not to, go back or not come, bring those same patterns into my adult life, and to really examine my decisions and make sure that I'm making a decision for myself, or am I trying to please someone? And there are multiple things that could go into your decisions. Of course, you're not going to always just get exactly what you want, because if you're married, you have children, you have family, there are sacrifices you have to make for your family. There are sacrifices you have to make for your children, your job, whatever there are. But ultimately, you have to decide if the decision that you're making is going to be something that's going to make you feel good down the line, or are you going to have regrets? But one more thing I want to leave with you is that you have to have the courage to stand out. You have to have the courage to be the weird person. And the reason why I say that is because your creator made you that way for a reason. You may not know the reason offhand, right now in front of you. You don't know the reason why you were created to be different. But you were created that way. So there's nothing wrong with you. There isn't anything wrong with you. And just because you don't agree with the norms, or you don't agree with the majority, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong. You were given your desires for a reason. And I used to think I have desires. And then, some people say, well, what are good desires and bad desires? I guess it's all a matter of perspective. I'm not saying, nothing outlandish where you go and do somebody wrong. No, I'm not talking about that, where something is really wrong, like stealing, killing, deceiving, that type of stuff. I'm not talking about. And I hope that you don't have the desire to do that. I mean, the people that I want to speak to and serve and help show how to make money online. I don't want to deal with nobody that has the desire to kill, steal, and deceive. I don't want to deal with those type of people. I'm just being upfront, because that's not my desire. I don't have that desire, and so I don't want you to have that desire. So I'm speaking to you. If you have desires to do something different with your life, but you feel like, the majority doesn't agree with you, or it feels like it's out of the norm, own that. Be courageous in that, because you were created to be different for a reason. And you might, like I said, you might not know the reason fully all the way. You don't know it right now, but you were created, and it's no mistake. So own it, embrace it. And, don't be afraid to step out on being different, making decisions that are going to ultimately make you happy. So I just wanted to come on here and share that, because I think that for me, like I say, it feels like I didn't have a choice. But the reason why I felt like I didn't have a choice is because my mind was so clouded and blocked by the fact that if I made the decision for me, or made the decisions that I wanted to do, I would be displeasing to my family or displeasing to the next person. So, it's okay to want to be a people pleaser, but you can't continue to please everybody. You can't please everybody. And so you have to think of yourself and think of what's going to ultimately make you happy, and make those decisions that are going to help you live your life by design and not default. So I hope this has helped you in some type of way. I know the video got cut off, and so hopefully I'll get them to merge them together so that the message will continue. But this is Vandalyn Smith, and I appreciate you tuning in. Leave me a comment below if you got anything. Let me know how you let me know your thoughts. Leave me a comment below. Watching this on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button so you can continue to receive updates. And if you're watching this on my Facebook page, make sure you click that like button so that you can continue to receive updates. This is Vandalyn Smith, and I appreciate you watching. Have a good day.